Welcome to Fort Bliss, located on the old Mexico-Texas border in beautiful El Paso, Texas. The foothills of the Franklin Mountains overlook this historic fort as if standing guard. Fort Bliss was once an outpost with advance companies B, E, I, and K of the 8th Infantry stationed here to protect farmers and ranchers from repeated Indian attacks. Named in honor of William Wallace Smith Bliss, a veteran of the Florida Indian Wars, the main post has grown in leaps and bounds. Fort Bliss now encompasses over 100,000 acres of desert land just north and west of downtown El Paso. Now considered one of the most important military installations of the free world, its value in the training of sophisticated missile firing specialists is unsurpassed. The post has become a modern facility in every way, from its modern shopping mall, recreational facilities, modern new banks, quaint little churches, and modern schools. As one of the major installations in the U.S., Fort Bliss continues to add to its colorful history as well as its military importance. Soldiers from Germany, for instance, train and live here. Fort Bliss is responsible for all German Air Force air defense training that takes place in the United States. When new recruits first arrive at Fort Bliss, one of the first things that they see is this building. Ironically, this is also one of the last things they see at Fort Bliss, because it is in this auditorium that they graduate from basic training. But before training can begin, each soldier must go through processing and fill week. During this time, the new recruits go for haircuts. It's amazing how 2.5 minutes can change their appearance. This is not done to harass the soldier, but is done for sanitary reasons and also makes everyone look and feel alike. The soldier is now part of a team and must start thinking and acting like a member thereof. After haircuts, it's time to be fitted for the proper clothing. It's amazing how all this stuff fits. Then the troops are taken to the clinic. There they will have shots, blood tests, and numerous other tests to make sure that they are ready to start with training. The challenge here is to conduct the training so that the learning experience is confidence building and success oriented. Trainers should always think war and be guided by the challenge of let no man's soul cry out, had I the proper training.
No drill sergeant! No drill sergeant! No drill sergeant!
As each new soldier is presented with the challenge of physical training, he is reminded on every push-up that he is now a soldier. Fooling around time is over. This is serious business. But all of the day is not spent doing physical training. As Sergeant Jackson explained, some very valuable time is spent learning about the M16A1 rifle.
BRM period 1. Sergeant Jackson, could you tell me what is going on here today?
Yes, at this time we are in BR period 1, is the introduction of the M16A1 rifle. In this class, they learn about how to disassemble a weapon, assemble a weapon, clean a weapon, inspect a weapon. At this time, you notice a lot of weapons are broken down where that they are learning all the parts of the weapon, the major working parts of the weapon. Once they leave here, they go to period 2, where period 2 gets them into a better feeling of the weapon, where that they get to shoot the weapon in the box hole, the chrome, and everything, and learn that fundamental. But right now, like I say, you're in period 1, and period 1 is based on the introduction of the weapon.
What's the effective range? Like this. Maximum effective range is 460 meters or better.
Rumor has it that this rifle is the only weapon in the Army big enough to kill a drill sergeant. Now we move on to the second week, when new recruits are taught the basics of drill and ceremony. As you can see, these guys aren't ready to perform for the general yet, but they are trying.
Bradford, Sergeant, can you tell us what's going on here this morning?
Basically, what we're doing this morning is having drill and ceremony period 5, which we teach the new recruits the right shoulder arms, left shoulder arms, inspection arms, and 2 carry positions with the weapon.
Some soldiers need special attention, and the drill sergeants are always there to help. On Sunday of the third week, the troops get to relax a little and have platoon and individual pictures made. Some of them will lose weight, some will gain weight, but all of them will look better when basic training is over. Marching to the mess hall is one of the highlights of the day. After a long morning of training, this place is where the recruits definitely want to be. Every moment in the chow line is spent studying their smart book of the day's activities. The chow is well prepared and nutritious, and they really do devour it. After chow, the recruits march back to the company area, and as you can see, they're really starting to look good. During the third week, the recruits get to go through pugil stick training. This padded instrument simulates a rifle with bayonet attached, and each slash, butt, or stab represents a kill or injury to the enemy. Some guys take longer to kill than others. In week 4, the recruit's home is truly on the range. The rifle range, that is. Out here they will zero their weapon in, qualify with the weapon, and go through the gas chamber. As each new soldier zeroes his weapon in, he then moves down the range to check his target. If he has successfully put 3 rounds in the prescribed area, he then can move off the range. The sergeant can tell us the exact requirements.
Fletcher? Sergeant Fletcher, can you tell me what BRM 5 is?
Yes, for BRM Period 5, the soldiers are given 2-round magazines up to the count of 18 rounds, and they're required to put 5 out of 6 rounds consecutive inside of a 4-centimeter circle to zero their weapon prior to qualification. And once they qualify, say zero their weapon, then they're ready to move on to the next period, which is BRM Period 6, which is for qualification.
Here is a typical target after 3 rounds have been put into the required area. These guys have just zeroed in and are happy to celebrate. They're now ready to qualify. As the soldiers move into position to qualify, they are given 40 rounds of ammo. They're required to put at least 23 of these rounds into targets that pop up at varying distances. 23 to 29 hits will earn a soldier a marksman's badge. 30 to 35 is considered to be sharpshooter, and 35 to 40 is an expert. Anyone hitting over 36 usually is recognized at graduation as being outstanding. In the 5th week in the desert, the soldier goes through the gas chamber. He is required to at least state his name, rank, and serial number before he is let out. This experience is vital to him. It installs proof and confidence that in case of a chemical warfare attack, the soldier's gas mask will work. After returning from the field, the next 3 weeks are spent in reinforcement training. It sure feels good to be back in civilization and modern housing with a soft, warm bed. By the way, this is how the barracks look, all cleaned up and ready for inspection. In hand-to-hand combat training, the art of self-defense is taught. Some of the basic moves include the front leg takedown, the hip throw, and on guard. Before beginning, though, it is important to warm up. In the 7th week, the new soldiers are again confronted with the obstacle course. But this time they are a little more prepared, having gone through many days of physical training by now. Another test to pass is the Army Physical Fitness Test. Here each soldier must complete the push-up test, sit-up test, and be able to run 2 miles within a preset time. Each time and requirement limit is according to the individual's age. Also required to be able to graduate is the basic skills test, such as the application of the gas mask, high and low crawl to simulate an attack maneuver, first aid, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, the proper use of splints, how to install, fire, and recover an M18A1 Claymore mine, and the proper use of the law rocket. Also, he is required to operate a field radio. On the day before graduation, the recruits are marched over to turn in their field gear, commonly known as TA-50. It sure feels good to be rid of all that gear. After picking up their photos, the new recruits go to the auditorium to rehearse the graduation ceremony. Tomorrow is their day.
Step down on the gas. Step down on the gas. Hey, little fellas. Hey, little fellas. Let the mighty quotas pass. Let the mighty quotas pass. Way down in the valley. Way down in the valley. I heard a lot of noise. I heard a lot of noise. It was the mighty quotas. It was the mighty quotas. Use the gravel as a toy. Use the gravel as a toy. Put the pedal to the metal. Put the pedal to the metal. Step down on the gas. Hey, little fellas. Hey, little fellas. Mighty pass. Let the mighty quotas pass. Down in the valley. Way down in the valley. I heard a lot of noise. It was the mighty quotas. Charlie as a toy. Use the Charlie as a toy. Pedal to the metal. Put the pedal to the metal. Step down on the gas. Hey, little fellas. Mighty pass. Let the mighty quotas pass. Down in the valley. Way down in the valley. I heard a lot of noise. It was the mighty quotas. Echo gas. Hey, little fellas. Mighty pass. Let the mighty quotas pass. Down in the valley. Way down in the valley. I heard a lot of noise. It was the mighty quotas. Echo as a toy. Use the echo as a toy. Pedal to the metal. Put the pedal to the metal. Down on the gas. Hey, little fellas. Mighty pass. Let the mighty quotas pass.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the graduation ceremonies of Class 2188. I am Lieutenant Kaczynski, Dakota Company Executive Officer. Our ceremonies this morning are in honor of those members of Dakota Company that have successfully completed 8 weeks of basic training. During the program, please feel free to come forward and take pictures. At this time, please stand for the entrance of the official party, the playing of the national anthem, and please remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Berger. Lieutenant Colonel Dan Daniel Rees, Jr., Commander, Warrior Battalion of the United States Army Training Center. Command Sergeant Major Henry L. Green, Jr., Command Sergeant Major of the Warrior Battalion. Captain Michael D. Peters, Commander, Dakota Company of the Warrior Battalion. First Sergeant Donald R. Saul, First Sergeant, Dakota Company. And Lieutenant Colonel Robert F. Berger, Senior Catholic Chaplain here at Fort Bliss. Also here with us today is the Training Center Commander, Colonel John H. Little. Our guest speaker, Colonel Starkey, was born in Boston, Massachusetts.
Colonel Little, Colonel Ruiz, Captain Peters, distinguished guests, families, and soldiers of Dakota Company of the 2nd Battalion, 56th. It's certainly an honor for me to be able to address such an outstanding group of young men, and most recently as graduates of basic training. Before I do, I'd like to take a couple of minutes to speak to the families of these graduates whose presence today at this ceremony is so important to all of us. The Army recognizes the important role of the military family because it plays an integral part in our mission of preserving the peace. You know, we sometimes forget that most of the ideals that we all have within us began in our early formative years and that were formed by especially our parents. And we use those ideals as we move on into adulthood, into our careers, in this case in the Army. It's your support and encouragement as we pursue the missions in the Army assigned to us that keeps us going and makes the job called soldiering so rewarding. You only have to watch the expressions of these young men's faces during mail call when their name is called to realize really how important you are. Please remember how critical it is to know that your support and love is with these soldiers and all of us all the time. Now to you soldiers. Your company commander and drill sergeants tell me your performance during this cycle of basic training has really been superb. I know you've exceeded the standards or the brigade standards in your basic skills test, in your physical fitness test, and those are just superb results, and I congratulate you all for that team effort. But more importantly, your drill sergeants indicate that your spirit and enthusiasm has been even better than that. Your cadre, I know, has worked very hard to ensure you develop the concepts of teamwork and the concept of pride in your performance. And I'm sure I can say without any doubt, looking at you sitting in this audience today, that you've had total success in that endeavor. I know each and every one of you are extremely proud of your performance and your graduation today, and you should be. Now, they probably won't tell you this, but these men sitting down here in the brown hats are extremely proud of your performance, too. Oh, I know when they picked you up at the reception station some 6 weeks ago, they've been putting you through your paces day to day. Maybe you think it's a little agonizing, and it probably seems like 6 months ago that you started this course. I know they've pushed you to your limits. They probably, unless things have changed, had very few kind words to say to you during those long morning runs in the PT pits, endless road marches, individual tactical training, low crawls, obstacle courses, all those things that we all love, and you all love, I'm sure, by now. You probably thought they had no heart at all and truly enjoyed putting you through the agony of the running and push-ups and low crawls and so forth. But I can tell you with absolute certainty, and I speak a little bit from experience because not too many years ago I commanded a basic training battalion at Fort Knox, that nothing could be farther from the truth. And really, but below that facade and the rough exterior that they show you, they really have a heart of gold, and they want you to perform, and all the things they've done for you are for you. Now, I'm going to tell you this, and I believe this in all my heart, that these NCOs are the finest sergeants ever to put on a uniform in our 200-year history of the Army. they're dedicated, and what they do for you, you will never forget. Now, I hate to say this, but I know you're going to forget this speech someday. You probably even forget Colonel Little and Colonel Ruiz and Captain Peters' names and what they did for you. And you'll probably even forget some of the tough training you've been through. But I'm going to guarantee you one thing. You'll never, in your lifetime, forget your drill sergeant. And if any of you want to come back and see me in 20, 30, or 40 years, or any of you do see me, you just ask me, or I will ask you, and I guarantee you'll know that man's name. Really, between your drill sergeant, what they've done for you, and your support that all the parents here have given you, you really have an unbeatable team behind you. Now, as you move on to advanced training and then to your units of assignment around the world, I'd really like you to remember about three things that I think will keep you in good stead in the Army or any career you pursue. First of all, attack every task assigned you with enthusiasm. Maintain that positive outlook you've got right now and that can-do attitude. You'll not only impress your superiors, but you'll have fun and enjoy your work and really have a lot of self-satisfaction if you do that. Enthusiasm is critical. Now, only you can make yourself all you can be, as we say in the Army. The rest of us can't do that for you. You owe that to yourself, and while you're wearing this uniform, you owe it to your country. Hopefully, your superb performance here in basic training has established a pattern for the future. When you see an opportunity to take charge and accept responsibility, do that. Take the initiative. You'll be surprised in the Army how quickly those stripes will pile up on your sleeves or your shirt collar if you take the initiative. In addition to that, the self-satisfaction is tremendous. The one thing that makes this Army, the United States Army, stand out from any other Army I've seen, either our allies or our adversaries, is the ingenuity and the take-charge attitude of our soldiers. We're known for it, and I think as you proceed in your careers, you'll be known for it too. You only have to look in the history books for thousands of examples of that, of young men, privates, E4s, that have taken charge in times of trouble and become leaders. Our most recent episode just a few weeks ago, I think you've all read about, which was the President called an emergency deployment exercise to Honduras, gives some more examples of just that. And I had the opportunity to talk to the commander of the 82nd Airborne Division at a conference some weeks ago. And what was most amazing about that exercise to Honduras, in his opinion, and the opinion of many others, is the ability of the young soldier deploying from the United States in two different locations on both coasts into Honduras for a readiness exercise and a training exercise to take charge when things didn't go right, and when you move that far, things don't always go right. In fact, his opinion was if we'd let our soldiers go and our young leaders go, we wouldn't have problems with the Sandinistas, but of course we don't do that. So anyway, the bottom line of that is strive to be a leader and take responsibility, and it'll pay off for you in anything you do in life. And lastly, don't forget the people responsible for you being successful. That's your parents, girlfriends, wives, and also the friends you made here in basic training. They're in a great measure responsible for your performance and your outstanding performance today. No matter where you go from here, keep in touch with them because they all care very deeply for you. Now, in closing, I'd like to congratulate each and every one of you on your outstanding accomplishments in your first phase of your military career. I wish you continued success. I'm truly proud of each and every one of you. And I'm sure with fine soldiers like you entering the Army ranks today, the Army is truly in good hands. Captain Peters, I thank you for the opportunity to speak to these fine young men, and I wish you the best of luck in your future assignments. Thank you.
Group endeavor, there are certain individuals who stand out among their peers. Here in basic training, these individuals are outstanding because of superior physical abilities and marksmanship skills. There are also those individuals who distinguish themselves by their overall performance throughout the training cycle. We'll now recognize these individuals who have distinguished themselves while training here in Dakota Company as they cross the stage with their fellow Warrior graduates. Now Colonel Starkey will present the awards and diplomas. Please hold your applause until all the awards and diplomas have been presented. Again, please feel free to come forward and take pictures. First on stage is 1st Platoon, the Warlords. Joining them on stage are their drill sergeants. Platoon Sergeant, Staff Sergeant Albert Green, Staff Sergeant Timothy Dacey, and Sergeant Roger Coatney. 1st Platoon is a distinguished warrior platoon because their overall platoon averages beat the ATC averages in basic rifle marksmanship, the Army Physical Fitness Test, and the Basic Skills Test. Their platoon guide is Private Ruben Gonzalez. The assistant platoon guide is Private Kevin M. Reed. Warrior Squad designation is awarded to the individual squads when they reach the following goals. 1, 85% first-time pass qualification on the M16A1 rifle, or 2, 100% first-time pass on the Army Physical Fitness Test, or 3, 80% first-time pass on the Basic Skills Test. A squad that reaches all of these three goals is designated as a Distinguished Warrior Squad. Next is First Squad. They are a physical training and a Basic Skills Test Warrior Squad. Their squad leader is Private Douglas G. Crawford. Private Heine Z. Azari. Private Stephen D. Boggs. The High Basic Rifle Marksmanship Award is presented to the soldier who attains the highest score on a qualification test using the M16A1 rifle. Silhouettes are mechanically exposed at a range of 50 to 300 meters, testing a soldier's ability to effectively engage simulated combat-type targets. The maximum score that can be attained is 40 points for all 40 targets exposed. This training cycle, there are 2 firers that achieve 36 points. The first to receive this award is Private Christopher V. Brasser. Private Angel W. Cardona. Private First Class Eddie Falong. Private First Class Rufus W. Frederick. The second individual to receive the Basic Rifle Marksmanship Award is Private First Class Stephen W. Jones. Private Frank Serrano. Private Robert Truccio, Jr. Next is Second Squad. They are a Distinguished Warrior Squad. The High Physical Fitness Award is presented to the soldier who attains the highest individual composite score in the following 3 events constituting the physical fitness test. They are the sit-ups, the push-ups, and the 2-mile run. Each event tests the soldier's endurance and strength as he works against time. This award is presented to their squad leader of Second Squad, Private Leo F. Sawyer. Private Sawyer will also receive a letter of commendation from Command Sergeant Major Green for physical training excellence for achieving 295 points out of a possible 300 points on the Army Physical Fitness Test. Private James E. Beecham. Private Sultan L. Brown. Private First Class Barry S. Cash. Private Stephen A. Carpenter. Private Eric S. Cockerham. Private First Class Chris E. Leitner. Private David J. Mitchell. Private Marsh E. Myers. Private John P. Osborne. Private Stephen A. Roderick. Private Curtis D.A. Yokelet. Next is 3rd Squad. They are a physical training warrior squad. Their squad leader is Private First Class John J. Bradley. Private Todd M. Bertone. Private First Class Timothy J. Cooper. Private Herman Flores. Private Lear O. Myron. Private Reagan O. McDevitt. Private Greg E. Moore. Private Barry C. Ramey. Private Ferlin A. Smith. Private Mark A. Stokes. The Distinguished Honor Graduate for 1st Platoon is Private Jeffrey P. Washington. Next is 4th Squad. They're both a basic skills test and physical training warrior squad. Their squad leader is Private Roy C. Warner. Private First Class Thomas D. Easter. Private Robert G. Fitzsimmons. Private Fitzsimmons will also receive a letter of commendation for PT excellence for achieving 278 points on his physical fitness test. Private Anthony E. Goodson. Private George Hall, Jr. Private Gary T. Johnson. Private Anthony R. Kane. Private James A. Miller. Private James O. Payton, Jr. Private James Rhodes. Private First Class Douglas E. Shields. Private First Class Clifton A. Walker. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduates of 1st Platoon, the Warlords. Their platoon guide is Private Ralph Ellis. The distinguished graduate for 2nd Platoon is their assistant platoon guide, Private David Carrion. Next is 1st Squad. They are both a basic rifle marksmanship and physical training warrior squad. Their squad leader is Private Kenneth A. Shelton. Private Roland C. Androlski. Private Evelio Galerza. Private Stanley S. Ford. Private Keith Freeman. Private Ralph Heathcote. Private First Class Carl E. Lambert. Private George S. McCullough. All right, if we're going too fast for you, this is a family affair. We want to stop and get the right picture you want. So you just let me know, all right? Private William L. Moses. We'll back up and do it again if you want. Private Michael R. Pratt. Private Corey M. Price. Private Charles L. Tanner, Jr. Next is second squad. They are both a basic skills test, physical training warrior squad. Their squad leader is Private Ringo W. Haywood. Private Thomas N. Adams. Private Joel W. Boring. Private First Class Todd F. Kaufman. Private First Class Manuel A. Cologne. Private Stephen E. Locklick. Private First Class Lynn B. Harvin. Private Robert C. Logston. Private Richard H. Miller. Next is the third squad. Their squad leader is Private First Class Anthony M. Dill. Private Sana A. Chandler. Private Patrick W. Conkleton. Private First Class Kenneth V. Ford, Sr. Private Leo W. Gillis. Private Daniel L. Hunter. Private David V. Malecki. Private First Class Tony F. Kendrick. Private First Class Randy S. Reed. Next is fourth squad. They are a physical training warrior squad. Their squad leader is Private Frank Burton.
Wait.
Okay. Oh.
I need to get a picture of that guy coming right up in just a second.
Okay, last man back up.
No, one right there.
Okay. Go tell him what you want right now. Exactly. Okay. This is your army. This is your army, folks. You're paying the taxes. Private Charles A. Bohammer. Private Christopher R. Brush. Private Stephen R. Chisley. Private Michael P. Coxon. Private Daniel J. Eastwood. Private William G. Johnston, Jr. Private Michael L. Rouse. Private First Class David W. Schmidt. Private Azara G. Smith. The Command Sergeant Major Noah Quezada Leadership Award is presented to the soldier in each company who best represents the leadership ideals and values of Command Sergeant Major Noah Quezada. Command Sergeant Major Quezada served in the infantry of the United States Army for 30 years. During this period of distinguished and selfless service, Command Sergeant Major Quezada was a soldier who led by example, who never asked anything of his soldiers that he himself would not do. He set high standards, insisted that they be met, but always assisted his soldiers in meeting them. Command Sergeant Major Quezada demonstrated these qualities both in peacetime training and on the field of battle, where he received the Silver Star for gallantry. Command Sergeant Major Quezada was deeply and personally committed to the profession of arms and to soldiers. This award is presented to Private Kevin W. Sokolov. Private Daniel W. Stites. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you 2nd Platoon. Drill Sergeants. Platoon Sergeant, Sergeant First Class Ronald E. Lobos. Staff Sergeant Donald R. Fletcher, and Sergeant Randall McCluskey. 3rd Platoon is a distinguished warrior platoon. Their platoon guide is Private First Class Harry L. Palmer, Jr. The Soldier of the Cycle Award is presented to the soldier in the company who best displays the greatest amount of discipline, initiative, esprit de corps, enthusiasm, endurance, physical conditioning, drill and ceremonies proficiency, efficiency in marksmanship, tactical training, and other fundamental soldiering techniques. This award is presented to the Assistant Platoon Guide, Private First Class Richard A. Giffens. Private Giffens will also receive a letter of commendation for PT excellence for achieving 275 points on his Army Physical Fitness Test. Next is First Squad. They are both a basic skills test and physical training warrior squad. The squad leader is Private Mark W. Barnett. Private David A. Broadus. Private William R. Burgess. Private Anthony M. Clark. Private Jody E. Yen. Private Gerald G. LaPierre. Private First Class Michael J. Luker. Private First Class John L. Mills. Private First Class Chad M. Prejean. Private Kevin R. Reedus. Private Creighton A. Skeen. Next is Second Squad. They are both a basic skills test and a physical training warrior squad. Their squad leader is Private Dante A. Antonelli. Private Dante Elliott. Private Lee R. Goldstein. Private First Class James L. Grisey. Private Richard M. James. Private Robert F. Kelly. Private Jeffrey S. Grzinski. Private First Class Russell J. Miller. Private First Class Matthew P. Schulze. Private Richard E. Wallen. Private Joseph Walters, Jr. Private Terry D. York. Next is Third Squad. They are both a basic rifle marksmanship and basic skills test warrior squad. Their squad leader is Private Vincent O. Spencer, Jr. Private James R. Ewersdorf. Private John Brooks. Private Stephen S. DeLucia. Private Robert Grice. Private First Class Elvin J. Gwynn, Jr. Private Danny Harris. Private Jeffrey A. Piat.
No, he's still sucking it in.
Private Gregory Piercy. Next is 4th Squad. They are a distinguished warrior squad. Their squad leader is Private Keith W. McDonald. Private John M. Andrews. Private Mike D. Evans. Private Mike D. Evans. Private Dale A. Loger. The platoon distinguished graduate is Private First Class Jesse C. Neighbors. Private Neighbors is also receiving a letter of commendation from Command Sergeant Major Green for physical training excellence. He achieved 281 points on his Army physical fitness test. Private Brian K. Odom. And Private First Class Lloyd G. Reed. The history of the Army is based upon tradition. The passing on of a selfless and proud set of values from one generation of soldier to the next. Today we are fortunate not only to witness the passing on of this tradition from the veteran soldier to the raw recruit, but to also witness the passing on of a family tradition. Now Colonel Garrett C. Starr will present a diploma of basic training completion to his son, Private John S. Starr. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduates of 3rd Platoon. See diplomas. Please hold your applause until all the GED recipients have been recognized. These individuals are Private Ruben Gonzalez, Private Ralph Heathcote, and Private Mark A. Stokes. Let's give these fine soldiers a round of applause. Dakota Company Commander Captain Peters will make his remarks.
Past 8 weeks. I hope you can all hear me in the back. I think my mouth's loud enough. Can you hear me back there? Yes, sir! Okay. First of all, I want to say how proud I am of this company. This is my first basic training cycle. I took over command in February. And in the future, all other cycles that I have the fortune of commanding will be gauged based upon how they have performed this time. And I'll tell you, it's going to be tough in some of those areas, but we're going to work on it. So I want to say how proud I am of you, that this day has come. I want to thank all the parents for being here today and families. They've come a long way, but that support is absolutely essential. And like Colonel Starkey was saying in not only their Army careers, but the rest of their lives. So I want to thank you for that. I want to thank the cadre for Dakota Company, particularly these gentlemen down here in the brown hats. I've had to work quite closely with them. They've done an outstanding job. I think they deserve a round of applause. Now, back during my commander's orientation, I told you a little story about a group of young men, what they did on Battlefield Virginia Tech. There were 2 points I didn't make plain to you at that time, because now as you get the basic training, you can appreciate it. And for the benefit of everyone else, I will briefly retell this little story. Back in 1864, of course, in this country, there was a great struggle going on between the Union and the Confederacy. And in the spring of 1864, the Union was initiating a massive assault in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. At that time, the Confederacy was extremely poor. They were weak. They were short on manpower and their equipment. They had no reserves, except for one region located in the town of Lexington, Virginia. And the place that they were located was Virginia Military Institute. This story means a lot to me because I went there. And I learned about this story, and it was really in my head for 4 years. Because everything the institution stands for today is based upon what those young men did in combat on May 15, 1864. And what happened is General Breckinridge, who was the Confederate commander, requested assistance from the Corps of Cadets of VMI. And there were 264 of them. So he marched 90 miles to Newmarket. And he did that in 3 days. That's 30 miles a day of forced marching in order to meet the enemy. And when they arrived, they were held in reserve. Because General Breckinridge was extremely hesitant to commit them. Because I did a little more research on their average age. And I originally told you they were 19. That's incorrect. They were only 17. That was their average age. And these young men who had trained together, who had worked together, who had done everything together, and who exemplified the warrior ethic, the warrior spirit, because they had to believe in themselves and each other, they were put to the test. And on that fateful day, General Breckinridge, reluctantly, with tears in his eyes, committed them to the battle. And they had to go in the middle of the line where there was a breach. And when they got there, the line held. And a charge was given. And in front of them was 54 Union artillery pieces. And there were 5 directly in front of them. These cadets, these young men, who were called to their deaths, basically. And what happened is that on the charge, the Union was repulsed. And on that particular day, the South was victorious. Not because of what the cadets did by themselves, because they couldn't do it by themselves, but their contribution helped to turn the tide of that. And as a result, 10 of those young men were killed. 5 of them died on the field of honor. Another 5 died as a result of their wounds. 47 others were wounded. But they were a group of honorable young men just like you, who worked together, trained together, did everything together. They had never been through a baptism of fire until that day. And that's why we honor them at VMI every May 15th, because of what they did. Because everybody has to have a point in time to go back to. And for you, your point in time to go back to for your beginnings here in the Army is today. And you ought to be proud of that fact. But those 2 points those young men learned and knew and carried to combat with them was confidence. They had to have confidence in themselves and in each other. And I think you got that now. That is all basic training. And they had to know the meaning of teamwork. And I think you know that now too, because you couldn't have made it through basic training without the teamwork concept. Correct? Yes, sir! So they were successful. But the road to success is not easy. It is not always smoothly paved. It is not always level. It has bumps. It has potholes. It goes around curves. It goes up down hills and mountains. who stays on that road, he will meet success. And today, one of those mile markers that you have come across for graduation, but you've got others behind you, because that road will continue throughout the span of your lifetime. And you will mount success on top of success from this day forth. But you've got to believe that. And I know a lot of you could have done something else instead of coming in the Army, because it is not an easy life. The military has never been an easy life, but it requires people who are dedicated, who are devoted to duty, selfless service. So the road is not easy, but you can be successful. And as American poet Robert Frost once wrote a long time ago, two roads converged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Good luck to you, AIT. God bless you. Thank you. In honor of our Constitution, which for 200 years has withstood the test of time, and upon which our society and way of life is built upon, I ask that all military in the audience please stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me the reaffirmation of the oath of allegiance. Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear
That I will support and defend.
that I will support and defend
The Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States
Against all enemies.
against all enemies,
Foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
The
to the same.
And that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
And that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
and the orders of the officers appointed over me,
According to regulations.
according to regulations
And the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
and the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
At this time, the Warrior Battalion Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Reeves, will make his remarks. Up here? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was his son that came up here. You can tell what a good disciplinarian and a trainer he is to let him get out of control like that. Is Dakota on the warpath? Okay. And we go through this ritual through each and every cycle. But I want to cover a few things, first with the soldiers, and one last point with the parents that I think are very important, and I hope you'll take with you no matter where you go. Like I said, they'll be very, very brief, but to me, they're very important. As you well know, we now call ourselves the Warrior Battalion here in the 2nd of the 56th, and we do so for a reason. All the units have tribal names, Indian tribal names: Apache, Blackfoot, Comanche, Dakota, and Iroquois. Now, we do this because the first thing that we talk to these young men about is the mental and physical toughness that we want them to have. And if you could visualize the American Indian back in those days, and we tried to take something very, very positive, they had a lot of things that they had to overcome in terms of adversity. But before you can attack any problem, you have to be mentally tough. You have to know that there is something that you're going to have to overcome, and you have to have the will and desire to do it. And then you have to be physically tough. So those are the two most important attributes that we wanted them to have. And when you think back, that back in those days, that small group of men called warriors or braves back then, because of them, the Indian nations today still exist, because they were a small elite group that were willing to fight for something that they believed in, and that was their calling. And at some point in time, that may be your calling. And again, the mental and physical toughness is something you're going to have in order to deal with it. Secondly, in the Warrior Battalion, we have something that we call the warrior ethic. To be put in its simplest terms, it's just taking care of your buddy. Now, I was a rifle platoon leader in Vietnam. I was 21 years old. My platoon sergeant was a Staff Sergeant Hawker. He was 24 years old. And the other 31 soldiers in my platoon were 17, 18, and 19 years old. This is 1971 in the 173rd Airborne Brigade. Now, I remember when I got on the plane and when I was heading overseas,
And to be quite honestly, I'll tell you right now, I was crying when I left. Because until you go through something like that, you can't understand that, and I can, to this day, remember what I was thinking when I left. And that was that I might not come back. While we were over there, and I pass this on to you, that the worst thought that came across my mind was that I could be wounded and be left behind. That was the one thing that I know that I didn't want to have happen to me. And as we talked, we knew that it was something that each of us felt. And at that point in time, we agreed that we would never leave our buddy behind, ever. And that's what keeps you going. Now, as we talk to these soldiers, I go around and talk to them, we're not in combat. And certainly I hope that they never see it, because those of us who've been there know that you want no part of it. But the most important part that you have to understand even today is that you have to build on that buddy and that teamwork, that camaraderie and that esprit de corps, where that you actually are taking care of someone. He is your responsibility. What we asked him to do during this 8 weeks was to make sure that he pulled his buddy through academically on the basic skills test, physically on the PT test, and assist him when he needed help on the rifle marksmanship range to get through, because those are the 3 main requirements for graduation. And I think they did a very good job. Another point is don't be a fair weather warrior. You know, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, and everybody just got through talking about that. But the one thing people can't stand more than anything else is someone who's only a fair weather warrior. Only when things are going well, you know, do you come across in a positive manner. Things aren't always going to go well, not only in the Army, but in life itself. And you need to be something better than a fair weather warrior. And then I have one final question for you soldiers. What unit are you in? Okay, good. Take your seats. And what they said was they were in the best unit in the Army. Now, when we first start with our basic training, I make them do that. And because I'm a colonel, and I'll tell them, you will do it. Hopefully today they believe it. And it's ironic, but as you go through, and you're going to find that all good people and good soldiers feel this way. It's ironic that no matter what unit you're assigned to, you're always in the best unit in the Army. The main reason is because no other unit will have you, and you can make a difference. So wherever you're assigned, wherever you go, you will always be in the best unit in the Army, and you will be able to make a difference. Remember that. My last comment is for the parents. What we've had is the opportunity and the pleasure of training your sons or husband for 8 weeks. Now, as a father, I can understand there's a different types of relationship here that we're talking about. There are the people out there that have brought some of these individuals up from the time they were born. And you just see them in a different light than what we do. And we have a different mission. But I will tell you this, as a battalion commander, that the charge that I have given the chain of command in this battalion has been that of training them and treating them as if my son were in that battalion. And I think the leadership here has done an outstanding job. Because I will tell you this, as the battalion commander, were my son to choose to come into the Army, I would have no problems with him being trained in this particular unit with the leadership that he received. The Army and the leadership and the values that they are teaching today certainly are some of the best in the world. And I will tell you that this group of young men, in my eyes, are already heroes. Every one of you are a potential Medal of Honor winner. You're already heroes in my eyes and need to do no more than what you have done today. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be your battalion commander. I want to wish you the best of luck. And I want to give a special thanks to the 62nd Army Band, because if you ever went through one of these ceremonies without them, you'd know it wouldn't be the same. Thank you very much. Godspeed.
That we think of those who have shed blood and tears to maintain the existence of the flag and the ideals it represents. And now, the soldier of the cycle, Private First Class Giffens, will read the soldier's poem by George L. Spivak, which others did not want to be. I went where others feared to go, and did what others failed to do. I asked nothing from those who gave nothing, and reluctantly accepted the thought of eternal loneliness should I fall. I have seen the face of terror, felt the stinging cold of fear, and enjoyed the sweet taste of a moment's love. I have cried, pain, and hoped. But most of all, I have lived times others would say were best forgotten. At least someday, I will be able to say that I was proud of what I am. A soldier! As we view these graduates about to move out to their new duty stations throughout the world, we do so with a considerable amount of pride. For we realize how much they have accomplished, but further we know that we are a part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, now that you are part of the Army family, we ask that as you return to your homes, that you take with you the Dakota story. Let it be known that good men like your loved ones who have met the challenge of basic training, are better for it. Will you please stand for the benediction, the playing of the Army Training Center theme song, The American Soldier, the ADA March, and the Army Song, and please remain standing for the departure of the official party. Reception immediately after this program. Two buildings immediately to your left. Cadre will be available to answer any and all questions that you may have, hopefully all the questions. And if you want to take photographs, you're also welcome to do that too.